Welcome to Waking Up America, the Not Morning Show. Today's news, a Chinese surveillance balloon spotted over Montana. Let's talk about this while we still can. I'm your host, Alexander Graves, the Constitutional Conservative. If you guys enjoy this content, please consider following us on Twitter at AmericaWakeUp. And let's go ahead and get into the news here. Pentagon confident that the spy balloon aloft in U.S. airspace is Chinese. Before we dig deeper into this, if you guys would like to support this content, please head on over to buymeacoffee.com/wakeup. You can donate or subscribe there. Always greatly appreciated, not required. I will continue speaking my voice regardless. Alrighty, let's dig into it. So, the U.S. has been tracking a high-flying spy balloon, according to Pentagon Press Secretary Brigadier General Pat Ryder. Quote, "The United States government has detected and is tracking a high-altitude surveillance balloon that is over the continental United States right now." You're probably wondering, why are they not shooting it down? We'll get into it. The balloon is currently traveling at an altitude well above commercial air traffic and does not present a military or physical threat to the people on the ground. Instances of this kind of balloon activity have been observed previously over the past several years. Once the balloon was detected, the U.S. government acted immediately to protect against the collection of sensitive information. Now, it says there's no threat. They're assuming that it's a surveillance balloon. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. We don't know what they could have on there. Could there be some sort of biological agent? Some sort of nerve gas? Who knows what the hell could be on there? There could be an EMP or a nuclear warhead. This is incredibly dangerous. China knows what they're doing. If we do not respond to this, we're putting ourselves in an incredibly dangerous position. We need some sort of countermeasure to this, and this should not be allowed. Now, if you're not aware, this is the first balloon to come over Montana right now, and there is a second one that is entering from Canada right now as well. This is an incredibly dangerous provocation from China, especially now while we have tensions incredibly high. Let's go ahead and dig a bit more into it here. Military commanders had recommended against shooting it down due to concerns about the possibility of the debris field harming people or causing property damage. Understandable, but there has to be some sort of countermeasure to this. I mean, there has to be a safe way to take this down. We can't just let this fly over the United States. Even if it is surveillance, they're taking surveillance of our nuclear facilities. Quote from Montana, "The current ICBM force consists of Minuteman III missiles located at the 90th Missile Wing at F.E. Warren Air Force Base, Wyoming, the 341st Missile Wing at Malmstrom Air Force Base, Montana, and 91st Missile Wing in Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota, according to the Defense Department." So, again, incredibly dangerous. That's no moon. This is what it looks like. It is so egregiously high that it is above commercial air traffic. So this is the best picture they got of it. I'm not exactly sure what's attached to it there, but regardless, the fact that they can just fly these weather balloons is incredibly dangerous. If you're unaware, during World War II, the Japanese considered sending similar type balloons over the United States to set wildfires in California and essentially disrupt the West Coast should we join the war. This has always been a military tactic to send military things like this. They are probing us, they are testing us, and we will not. This is definitely not the end of this. So let's dig into it a little bit more. So, while incidents like this have happened, they've never lasted this long, according to a defense official. So this is an entirely unique situation at this point, due to the amount of time that it has been loitering over the United States and the fact that it is loitering over a known military installation. Incredibly dangerous. So if that isn't enough, next story here, everything is ramping up right now. It does appear that we may, I mean, at the very least, the media narrative right now is that we're going to war with China. It's guaranteed is what they're saying. So let's dig into why. First story here, how the U.S. Marines are being reshaped for a Chinese threat. So they're essentially changing the entire way the Marine Corps is. They're diminishing troop numbers to turn them into small tactic units with heavy weaponry for island-based warfare, similar to World War II. Island hopping, because the Chinese have been creating islands in the Pacific. They are advancing. They 100%, they're playing the 100-year game here, and they intend to destroy us. If you're unaware, they are also installing military bases down in Argentina to give them a beachhead into South America, which will allow them access through Mexico. All right. So this is just one piece of the puzzle. Again, there are several stories like this calling for war with China. It's very dangerous times right now. The stakes for TikTok CEO first Washington appearance next month just got higher with heightened warnings of a U.S.-China war. All of these stories came out of nowhere too. That's the interesting thing. So Air Force says proposed Chinese-owned mill, and mind you, the Chinese have been up to this for a while. They've been buying property. They've been surveilling our Air Force bases all around the U.S. There's a giant property in Texas right now, right outside of an Air Force base. This is why Governor Greg Abbott passed a law saying that no foreign entities can own property. We've seen this passed in a couple other states. It needs to be passed through the entire United States. I covered a video on it. But they are using these properties to surveil our military assets. This is why they keep buying properties so close to Air Force bases. So let's dig into it. A proposal for a corn mill, which had been welcomed as an economic development success, reflects just how much things have changed with Chinese investment proposals in the U.S. Assistant Secretary of the Air Force has weighed in with a warning that the project presents a significant threat to national security. The North Dakota senators noted that the proximity of Grand Forks Air Force Base to the proposed mill and said project raised near and long-term risks of significant impacts to our operations in the area. Less than 15 miles from the Air Force Base. That's how close this property is. Residents had voiced numerous concerns. Some in the town said it was unwise to deepen economic ties with China, while others speculated that the mill could be used for spying on the Air Force, which the company denied. Like I said, this is not the first instance of this. The Chinese are great at copying tech. They don't believe in copyrights or anything like that. That's why they take our consumer tech. And unfortunately, we have too many businesses going over there, giving them our tech for free so they can manufacture it cheaply. And guess what? They screw you out of it because then they take your product once it's successful and they reproduce it themselves. And people just buy that because it's cheaper and easier for them to do that. So the Chinese are great at replicating our tech. However, they're not perfect at it. This was seen when I believe it was the Su-35, possibly. They bought a new stealth fighter from Russia, and Russia had essentially planned to give them multiple planes. They took 5. Okay, they took 5, and they re-engineered them, and then made it into their own, changed the name. And Russia's like, all right, so when are you going to buy the rest of these planes? They're like, we're not. But this is a little ray of sunshine here. As you're well aware, if you're watching this podcast, you know Chinese stuff is crap and it breaks all the time. During an excursion with India, they were fighting in the mountains, and India actually detected their stealth fighter with ground radar. So this airplane sent from Russia that was meant to mitigate and go past all radars had failed because they screwed it up. So there's a little ray of sunshine there. Let's keep going. Now, this is a U.S. Military warning right now. U.S. generals' prediction of war with China in 2025 risks turning worst fears into reality. Endorsers point to resurgent nationalism, concerted military buildups, and increasingly bellicose rhetoric on both sides. U.S. 4-star general, this is the top, Mike Minahan warned his troops of China, quote, "My gut tells me we will fight in 2025, and I don't disagree with him." "I hope I am wrong," Minahan said, who heads the Air Force's Air Mobility Command. He explains that Xi, quote, "secured his 3rd term and set his war council in October 2022. Taiwan's presidential elections are in 2024 and will offer Xi a reason to invade. United States presidential elections are in 2024 and will offer Xi a distracted America. Xi's team, reason, and opportunity are all aligned for 2025. Now, this general sent out a memo. Again, it's hard to disagree with it. February 2023, orders in preparation for the next fight. That was the title. Minahan goes on to direct the troops to undergo a monthly progression of readiness, including ordering personnel to, quote, "consider their personal affairs," and to fire a magazine into a 7-meter target with a full understanding that unrepentant lethality matters most. Aim for the head. Okay, now, if that doesn't say we're on the brink of war, I don't know what does. History repeats itself for those who do not learn from it. We are repeating the steps that led us into World War II. Something has to be done with China. They are, unfortunately, incredibly imperialistic. They are spreading, and they do want to destroy us. They are poking and prodding and destroying our system. They have infiltrated us to the very tops with their communist agenda. They have influenced politicians. They have paid for them. What are we going to do? I mean, this unfortunately does seem like it is going to be a reality for us coming soon. So, yeah, I guess I don't really have a white pill for you here. War with China is coming, whether we want it to or not. Best we can do is prepare. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry for the black pill. My name is Alexander Graves. I am a constitutional conservative. If you guys enjoy this content, please follow us on Twitter at AmericaWakeUp. Unfortunately, I got to deliver the truth sometimes, even though it's not the brightest of news. Again, if you guys enjoy this content, please consider heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/wakeup. Greatly appreciated for the subscriptions. I will see you guys next time. Stay prepared, keep around in the chamber, and stay safe.